Welcome. Welcome to a new edition of Dialogues Live. My name is Helena Demuynck. I'm your host. I'm here with my energy and my story about balance, or better, the myth of balance. Balance, or better, work life balance. That's a terminology that we hear very often, that we read about very often. And I always have been wondering if that is a terminology that is really serving us. First of all, we've been told balance is the goal, right? Work life balance. As if life were a scale where we can find that balance. It's a very linear thing. And it's about thinking that we have to go, what, 50-50, 40-60, but then in what direction? It is something that is very complicated and that is actually not really aligned with the way that we lead and live. Also, it is about either or. It's okay if I have 60 in professional life, then I have 40 in personal life. It's like it's the one or the other. So it is not like integrating things. And that's the main reason, just to have a spoiler alert, that's the main reason why it is depleting us, because we can never ever chase that balance. It is exhausting us. So another thing about work-life balance is the terminology as such. So we have work and we have life. Really? That's a little bizarre. Like work you do when you're not living, or living you do while you're not working. So we are not very much aware of the semantics, but actually the way that we define things is the way that we put connotations in our minds, and the way that we give meaning to events or concepts, and then also the way that we experience them and we live them. And so one of my missions is to redefine concepts. I'm not only doing that with work life balance, I'm doing that with other things as well. Probably people, if you know me, you know that I'm very much talking about redefinition of success, or redefinition of the stages of our lives, because a lot of things are predefined or integrated in media, social media, in the way we talk with each other, but also in the way we talk with ourselves. We are not aware of it, but it leaves a certain connotation, it leaves a certain meaning that is not always serving us. So basically, a quick bridge to last week, where we were talking about imposter syndrome, and the week before, when we were talking about confidence, is that confidence and imposter is something that is in our internal awareness and in our internal relationships, while work life balance, I will find a new definition with you, or you can help me find one, is more about external events. It's more about how we organize our lives. When we talk about work life balance, where we better would say work and personal, that is extremely limiting. It's like either we have a work role or a personal role. While we all know that we are so many things, there's so many facets in what we are doing, in how we show up, in how we manifest. If you look at professional life, you could be like a manager or a team leader or a C-suite executive. You could be an expert, but you could also be a member of a project team, or you could be a mentor, or you could be like an internal coach. So in the professional arena, there's already so many roles that you can take, where you also need to find like a kind of harmony and integration. When you look outside professional life, we are, for example, not everybody, we are mothers, we are daughters, we are sisters, we are friends, we are neighbors, we are maybe hockey coaches or swim coaches, or we are coaches in a youth movement, we are an actor in the local theater. So there's so many things, that we are a sporter, we are an athlete, we are so many things. Again, if we open it up, we make things larger than professional and personal, it's even more obvious that balance is a terminology that doesn't fit there and that doesn't serve us, right? So What works better in terms of having these roles represented in our lives? For me, what has been working, and for the clients that I've been working with, what has been working is the concept of integration, the concept of harmony, which is, as you probably already feel, also a much more power feminine terminology and approach than the linear balance of the 50-50 or 60-40 or whatever you want to use there. So basically, it is about how to integrate all these different roles in a way that it is not depleting us. And integration involves basically understanding. Integration involves awareness. So it is my invitation, if you are struggling with this work-life balance, if you are struggling with the different aspects or the different roles that you have in life, if you feel like some of them are completely overrepresented and others are underrepresented, it is about being aware of them. And so I'm asking you to just, for yourself, write down what comes to mind immediately if you think of the roles that you take up right now. That's like a quick start. And without judgment and being very kind, just note them down. It could be 3, 4, 5, maybe 10, depending. It's just about, and think a little bit deeper. It is about creating the awareness of the roles that we have. And then we're not going to score them like this is 10% or 20% or 50%, but just look at those and connect with these roles and experience if for you one or more of these roles are like overrepresented. Look if there are roles where you feel that you spend too much energy or too much priority. I would say too much time, but basically that's because you're spending too much priority. And then look for other roles where you have the feeling that you do not spend enough priority, that you feel that you would love to be a little bit more in that role, that you would love to show up more as the daughter or as the mother or as the swim coach or as the project manager. This is completely hyper individual. So have a look at these different roles and how they are represented for the moment in your life. And that could be completely different from how they represented last year or 5 years ago. And it certainly also is completely different from how they will represent next year or in 3 years, because it is something in flow and in movement. It depends on the stages and the phases that we are in our lives, or the values that we prioritize, or certain events that just make us focus more on certain things. All right. And there is no problem if you feel that certain of your roles are overrepresented right now. This is like a temporary thing. Like when you say, okay, my role as a team leader right now, it's too much. But this is a temporary thing because we are in like, I don't know, you could be in a quarterly closing if you are in finance, or you could be in like a lounge if you're in sales or in marketing. And this takes a lot of your time right now. But this is something that will only take a couple of months, right? If you say this is constantly, this is my script to be have this role, especially in professional life. And I know there's a lot of women that feel that way, that we spend too much time, too much energy in our professional life. Then it is about making conscious choices. Then it is about intention setting in how to change that. But it will not come without awareness. And it will also not come without understanding by allowing yourself to be too much in a specific role, by not putting boundaries there, by not pushing back once in a while, understanding that basically then you are damaging other roles, or you might be even damaging other relationships, right? Could be vice versa. When you have a child that is sick, then probably you will spend a lot more in the role as a mother and a caregiver, right? Or when you have parents that need care. These are all things that are basically external events, if I can call it like that, that have an impact on how we can experience the different roles that we have. And sometimes we're just not alert. We just don't see how external events have an impact that they shouldn't have. And of course, now I'm not talking about a sick child or parents that are in need. I'm talking about other elements in terms of what is yelling the loudest normally gets our attention. What is getting our attention, it gets our priority, gets our time. So it is about awareness first, to see where we are spending our energy, where we are spending our attention and our focus, and if that is absolutely serving us and serving the people that we love and the people that we want to serve also in a professional context. Does that make sense? Yeah. So take 2 minutes to check your list of 3 or 5 or maybe 10 roles that you have noted down, and see where you have overrepresentation or underrepresentation. See where you have abundance, but then not in the positive way, and where you have lack. And think of the consequences of that. Think of the impact of not being in certain roles where you would love to be, or where people that are very dear to you are sometimes in need and do not get you in the role that you are somehow committed to or somehow agreed to take up. If you want to share something about that, you can share in the comments whatever you want to share, because other people can learn from that. And it's also good to participate a little bit more directly, because it's activating your commitment to work on integration and harmony of the different roles, right? Yeah. And this is not about perfection. This is not about that you have to be perfect in any role that you take up. It is about integration. And it is also about understanding how sometimes you can combine roles in terms of having them more actively manifesting in your life. And that asks for a little bit creativity, for a little bit more reflection time, or maybe for a conversation with some of your stakeholders, or a conversation with yourself, or a conversation with your coach, in order to see how to optimize this integration without ending in perfectionism. And normalize this kind of messy truth that balance is overrated. I would say it's even non existent, and awareness is powerful. That's where everything starts. All right. This is a very important topic that we do not often think of, because we just live our lives. We are in this rat race. There's so many things yelling at us, asking for our attention, asking for follow up, asking for commitment. And because we don't take the time to reflect, because we do not pause, we are just running and putting up fires. So, my invitation in this whole story, in many other stories as well, is to pause and take some time and reflect on these things. And take some paper, make some notes about these things. Activate your thinking by writing it down. And see how you can redefine your own roles or optimize your own roles in a way that you feel comfortable in terms of this is aligned with my values, this is aligned with who I want to be, this is aligned with how I want to show up for my team, for my children, for my partner, for whoever is in your life that is important to you. And one of the ways to do this is one of the ways to go through a reflection part is supported by what I have created in Dialogues with Helena. The reason why I created Dialogues Live is to show you or introduce you or make you familiar with a coaching practice. A lot of C levels and VP levels have a coach, and more don't have one. And if we look at professionals that are like mid career or early career, they don't have a coach. They just are left to experience everything, I would say sometimes through trial and error. And I know there's a lot available on the internet and there's a lot of training and courses and things like that. But having somebody that is asking you questions, that is going deeper, that allows you the time to pause and reflect, gives you the right questions in order to go deeper and analyze all these things or feeling them through, that is something that not everybody has. And so it was my mission this year to make coaching accessible for everybody. I would say for everybody that has access to a computer through Dialogues with Helena. And my weekly Dialogues Live are like a support or an introduction to Dialogues with Helena. So for those of you who don't know Dialogues with Helena, it is an online coaching application that has all my knowledge, all my expertise consolidated in the application as the basis for the questions, the programs, the playbooks, the checklists, and everything else that is provided there for your specific questions, for your specific, I would say, coaching questions. So the whole idea is that you receive hyper personalized coaching advice online that is based on all my experience. That's 15 years of coaching experience and more than 20 years in career coaching and recruitment and executive search. So I know a thing or two about how to define success, how to define integration of all the different roles in terms of when you are a high achieving professional and you need to keep up all the plates in the air and make them turn and don't make sure that they don't fall. So this is why I started Dialogues with Helena. I'm going to show you a little bit about that. Let me see if I can share my screen. If there's any questions, just let me know in the comments. Just let me share my screen so you can see a little bit more what it is about. So let me see. Yes, I guess you can see my screen. So the whole thing is to create support that meets you at times that you are ready or that you need somebody who supports you, who sponsors you, who coaches you. So that could be like a practice that you install, like every week you have half an hour where you are doing this reflection practice. But it could also be like in a tough moment when you need to make a difficult decision, or where in the evening you come home from a very heavy day and you find things all very chaotic and you are overwhelmed and you want to take some time to reflect and to recalibrate and to let go of certain things. So basically, the tool involves no scheduling and no waiting, just dialogue that you have with my AI avatar on the coaching application. So, what it is about, it is not an AI. You are not putting your questions or your struggles or your successes in the void of the AI universe. It's a very confidential and secure encrypted environment, hyper personalized because you create your own profile in like where you are in life, what it is that you're looking for, what it is that you're struggling with, how much coaching experience you already have. And all these elements are basically the basis in order to create something hyper personalized in the dialogues that you have with my AI avatar. It is uniquely women centered. So we do not work with the typical linear, quick fix, traditional coaching or advice. We really work in a way and approach and methodology that serves the way that women live and lead. It's a complete coaching space. You get tools, you get resources, you get reflection prompts, you get growth analysis, you have memory of all your earlier sessions. So basically, it is platform where you have everything for your personal and professional growth. And as I said, it is backed by me and my knowledge and my experience and my programs. So, on demand coaching, grow tools, and curated resources. And it is extremely simple. So, all you need to do is log in, start the dialogue, stay consistent in terms of do this regularly, and you can start for free. If you join us before end of October, you even get free credits. So you have more coaching time at no cost. And then if you want to expand, if you want more coaching time, then you can go on a paid plan, but you can start for free forever. So this is Dialogues with Helena, and I'm inviting you to try it. Even if you never had coaching before, this can be a way for you. Let me stop sharing. This could be a way for you to experience coaching very accessible at your fingertips whenever you want, wherever you want, from any device. We have optimized it for laptop, for computer, because there you have speech to text, so you don't even have to type, you can just talk. We are working on doing that also for the mobile version that is soon to come. So this is basically the whole concept. I'm going to show you a little bit also about the application itself, just so you know. So here, wait, let me just check if you see it. Yes. So here what is, once you clicked to start the application, then you have the login screen. Of course, if you do not have a account yet, you go to sign up, and then you are asked to enter an email address and a login and a password. So an email and a password in the sign up. You will receive a confirmation via email, a verification. And then once you have that, you can log in. And so the simple, I will show you what you find when you log in. So basically, this is the application that you can use for topics like confidence, imposter, and finding balance. This is the application that you can use where you have a homepage. That's where you normally land if you are here for the first time. You can have a platform tour, so everything that you need to know is clear for you, and you have the maximum benefits of the platform. There's some information about how and why I did this, how you can benefit fully from the experience, things like what to do and what not to do. That's an important one in terms of, again, having the best experience. And then you can start your coaching journey. Oh, by the way, you can have the conversation in your mother tongue. The tool supports almost every language. So if you speak Dutch, it will answer in Dutch. If you speak Korean, it will answer Korean, although I cannot test that. But that's the whole setup. The structure is English. That will not change. So what you can do here is you can fill out your profile. Mine will probably already be filled in because this is a testing. So you have your personal information. The mother tongue you put here will give you the conversation language in the chat with my avatar. All right. So you can fill out all this information. You fill out all the information about your professional background, like your career stage, your current role, the organization type, the industry, and the team size. You can also give your growth areas, growth orientation, focus areas, and current challenges. You can see there imposter syndrome, saying no, work-life juggle, loneliness at the top, all things that a lot of us are very familiar with. And then you can also choose your coaching background. So you're new to professional coaching, you have some experience, or you regularly work with coaches. All this information will be used by the AI to give you the feedback, to ask you the questions, to support and to sponsor you in the way that you need and that you are ready for in that moment. If things change, then you can, of course, change your profile as well. You have a dashboard here where you can see how many credits you have left. You can see that your leadership profile, mine here, is complete. You can see what plan you are on. And then you have recent sessions. Okay. So basically, you can go back to these sessions or you can start your chat. So here is the chat page where, because I'm not new, it will ask if I want to continue the conversation or start a new topic. If I want to start a new topic, it will give me some conversation starters that are based on my profile, and I can start chatting. So I can start my session. And as you can see here, you can talk or you can just write, and you have the conversation with the application and with my chat avatar. So this is some. Okay, you have a journal, you have resources, you have information about your subscription, and then you have upgrade plans. So what you get for free is weekly 2 credits. That's 20 minutes per week in coaching, but time flies. And then you have the specific paid plans where you have more minutes per week and also more features. But that's something that you can explore once you get acquainted with the tool. So that's it. That's basically what I have been creating. And I'm very excited about that because it absolutely gives access to women, early career, mid career, and top executives to a coaching application that is unique. It's hyper personalized, it's women centered, it's encrypted and secure. So it gives you access at any moment to advice, to resources that are set up in order to support you also with the integration. So it's not like a resource with step 1 to 3 or 5 tips to delegate better or to communicate better. It is about really integration and setting up practices in order to learn and to grow. So that's what I did. That's what I did. And it will certainly help you also in redefining work-life integration, work-life harmony. It can help you asking the right questions like, where are your priorities? How do you set boundaries? Why do you not set boundaries? What's keeping you from? What are your limiting beliefs? Where are you struggling? So basically, it will help you to complete your vision, your different roles on all the aspects that show up for you in life and that you want to be involved with and that you want to have activated or maybe less activated. And so this is just an invitation to check it out, to explore, to learn, and to grow. And basically that's the whole message and the whole mission of Dialogues with Helena and also with Dialogues Life. So this is it for today. I'm curious. Let me know in the chat or in the comments what you've learned, what surprised you, what was new for you. Let me know. I'm always very happy to learn. Also happy to learn if the topics that we set up are relevant to you. So just give me your feedback and I will see you inside in the Dialogues with Helena, or I will see you next time. We will do this every week, every Monday, 8 p.m. Central European Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time. I'm here for you. You can listen, you can observe, you can participate, you can just consume this as you wish. my only goal is to serve you in terms of personal and professional growth and make coaching and growth accessible for everybody. So thank you so much for being here. Hope to see you again. Let me know if you have any questions, put them in the comments or direct message me. That's also fine. I am very accessible. Have a great rest of your week and talk soon. Bye bye. Take care.